Clock. We are unmuted in the meeting and we are recording.
Bring you back some.
Call this regular meeting of Thompson City Council to order at 7 p.m. for February the 16th, 2021. I'd like to recognize that we are on Treaty 5 land and we are all treaty people. Thank you. Next, I'd like approval of the agenda. Andre? Bess? All in favor? Thank you, carried. Next, we will go to community comments and feedback. Number 4. Please stand if you have any questions, concerns, state your name. Second time, any community comments, feedback? Third and final time. Any community comments or feedback? Seeing none, we'll proceed. Thank you very much. Number 5, adoption of the minutes, regular council meeting, February 1st, 2021. That's it.
Just a couple of, not couple, just one typo. It's not important, but I think it would be good to correct it. 7.2, because the rest of the minute is addressed me as a deputy mayor, but that one is a council law, so just a small little changes.
I missed that, Duncan, please.
7.2 under the minute. The mover that put the council law instead of the city, but the rest of the minute
Okay,
and put deputy, so just try to make correct.
thank you. Any other changes? Okay. So resolution 2021-023, moved by Councillor Lundmark, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wong. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held in Council Chamber, City Hall, Council, Manitoba, on Monday, February 21st, as amended, be adopted as circulated. Call for the question. Brian, do you have any concerns on Earl?
No, you want to vote.
Call for the question. All those in favor? Thank you. Sorry, I just saw. Pen, so not a pen. 5.2, the public hearing for special levy minutes, February 11th, 2021. Resolution 2021-024, moved by Councillor Fountain, seconded by Councillor Lundmark. Be it resolved that the minutes of the public hearing for the special service levy held in Council Chamber, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba, on Thursday, February 11th, 2021, be adopted as circulated. Any concerns or questions? Councillor Fountain? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Are you in favor or opposed? Deputy Mayor?
Agree.
You're in favor? Okay.
Yeah.
Every carried. We are now going into committee for the January check registers. 6.1. Any concerns or questions? Yeah, Anthony.
Just to note that they were circulated through the finance committee. Several questions were answered at the finance committee, and they're brought forward as a report to council.
Thank you. Any other questions, concerns? Councillor Elwood.
Yeah, I raised the number of questions during the financial meeting, and I might say that they were certainly answered to my satisfaction, so.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Wong.
Just to follow up what Anthony just said, is that going to be next finance meeting and we'll get the answer, or like what that will be? Because there's one other question I raised about the sorry about that 32187 checks, and I asked the FCCF to break it down.
Mhm.
And she said she will, so I was wondering if that will be coming to the next meeting, or she just going to send us an email.
She'll either send it to all of council or we'll bring it back to the committee for your review.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll pass on. Thank you very much, Paul. Number 7, resolution. 7.1 is a resolution to approve the tabulation of prices for the purchase of a GPS vehicle tracking system. Resolution 2021-025, moved by Councillor Lundmark, seconded by Councillor Prue. Be it resolved that council approve the recommendation of the purchasing agent and award the GPS vehicle tracking system to Skyhawk Telematics for their tendered price of $97,703.79 with additional taxes as per tender file number 20-12990. Neil?
Excuse me. Yes, the city council released a request for proposal for the supply, install, and support of a GPS and telematics system for the majority of its fleet. The intent of the GPS and telematics system is to help reduce the fuel consumption and enhance the fleet maintenance, which will allow our mechanical department to receive diagnostic alerts in real time and achieve regular preventive maintenance service requests directly from the unit through maintenance reports that will be generated by this system. We received 4 responses to this RFP. One proposal was received incomplete and was not considered further for this project. So administration recommends that council award the RFP to Skyhawk Telematics for their total financial implication of $97,703.79 plus additional taxes.
Thank you. Anthony, do you have anything to add?
No, nothing further, just to note that I believe it's over a 5-year period.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's not the one-time amount for 1 year, it's over the 5 years.
Thank you. Councillor Lundmark, you moved this, would you like?
Yeah, I'm just grateful to see this coming forward and sure it will help with our operations going forward. Thank you for all the work.
Thank you. Councillor Prue.
Just one quick clarification. It says we're getting it for 67 units, but any of them, are they all automotive, like light duty, or are they also heavy duty equipment, like loaders, graders, etc.?
Yeah.
It's a combination of light duty, heavy duty, and then even our ride-on lawnmowers.
Oh, okay.
Councillor Coburn.
So you said we're purchasing 67 units. Earlier, you said you're putting them on most units. How many units do we have?
Neil.
I don't have that number off the top of my head, sorry.
I think the clarification there is we're putting them on all the motorized units. We have lots of trailers and other things that we would not bother putting a GPS on. But all the motorized ones that have a plug-in that can support GPS, I believe are meant to be GPS.
And all the new vehicles we're purchasing, they're gonna be installed already.
We'll have to get the module from this provider, either take one from an old one and put it in, or we'll get a new unit. And I believe that they're quite cheap to get the units.
Neil.
Yeah, our mechanics are actually during the installation, are going to be trained to install these themselves as well. So as a new unit is received, we'll take the unit, the GPS unit out of an old unit, and we just plug and play into a new piece of it. So
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you. Anyone else? Deputy Mayor Wong.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would have made the same comment I make at the finance when I look at this tender. But unfortunately, the company that the lowest bid, they did not comply most of the request from the tender because we go by scoring system. But when I look, those 2 companies, the compare company that possible to be awarded at that time, I look at the background of that 2 companies. The one got defeated is, to me, it looks like a more feature to sell us in the future for enhance our city to be more modernized, but the other one don't have. So like I said earlier, unfortunately, they did not meet the score that we require. Otherwise, that company will be probably in the long run is benefit us more than the one that we award tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillor comments? Okay, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. 7.2 is a resolution to approve the tabulation of prices for HVAC services. Resolution 2021-026, moved by Councillor Prue, seconded by Councillor Ellsworth. Be it resolved that council approve the recommendation of the purchasing agent and award the HVAC services required for the city buildings to Jarvis HVAC are incorporated for an estimated financial implication of $139,453.25 for 3 years, as per tender file number 20-12988. Administration.
Yes, so back in November, council had released a tender, or the city had released a tender for HVAC mechanical services. We had a single bidder, and that was brought forward to council, and the bid was awarded in January for those services. When the city made its initial call to get some service done, the contractor attempted to add travel costs. We pointed out that that was not included in the tender. And then they basically stated that they could not perform the work. It was not financially feasible for them to provide the work. So the city and the contractor decided to part ways mutually, and we re-tendered, and we have a local contractor who's put a bid in, and that's the one that's before council tonight. We've used this contractor in the past and would recommend council entering into this agreement.
Thank you. Neil, did you have anything to say on that? Councillor Prue, you were the mover. Do you have anything to say?
I'm just glad to see that this is going to a local contractor and looking forward to do business with them.
Thank you. Councillor Ellsworth.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Absolutely agree with Councilor Prue. It's good to see it's going to the local contractor, number one. Number two, this is a contractor that's worked with us for the last 4 years. They're very knowledgeable of our buildings and our equipment. So even though it might have been cheaper coming out of Winnipeg until they decided that they didn't get the travel time, I'm certainly pleased that it came back to Thompson with someone that knows our equipment as it exists. We know we got older equipment. So it's good when they got that knowledge, they can fix it, or it probably cost us a whole lot more money. So thank you.
Thank you. Over the question.
No, Your
Are there
Worship.
any other? Oh, sorry, yes, I didn't see you behind the counter there.
Thank you. There, if I understand this correctly, there's a difference between the amount that this costs from the original tender that went out versus this one. I believe I'm correct. This is more expensive than what we had originally.
I don't have that in front of me.
Is it less?
I believe it was less, and this provider was less in the past. They didn't submit in the last round. So the last round, we only had one person submit. It was a company from Winnipeg. As it's an open tender, we had to bring that forward to council. But as they noted, they can't provide the service. We re-tendered with the same specifications, and this company's come back in.
At less than what?
Yes.
Okay.
It might be more than they paid in the past, but it's less than the one that we had just hired that couldn't provide the service.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, sorry, Deputy Mayor Wong.
Just a clarification, the memo from the resolution, so the public can view it, right?
Sorry?
Like the memo from the administration attached with the resolution, the public can see it, all right?
I'm just checking. Yep, the memo is unlocked.
Okay. The only thing I'm happy with that because the local people got it, which is the only thing I worry, concerned about is that because the previous tender went out, the memo probably identical to one memo today, you say how much per hour and all that. So the newcomer that's seen all that information. So that's the only thing I worry, I don't really like it, but it's a good news. It's a good news, it's cheaper and it's a local. So somehow we have to find a way that have a safeguard about our tender. So there's no information leak out, as you know what I mean? This is the only thing I've seen it, so because it's
I'm not sure what you're referring
because
to.
they re-tender. So the guy who tender now know the previous price, the previous company that tender.
Oh,
It's
that
not-
has to be made publicly known. We couldn't keep that covered up. Otherwise, that'd be the administration covering up prices.
No. what I'm
So
saying
we
is
have to
because
make
they
that public.
re-tender so that this person know what was before. So for us to award that, so for him to get into this contract, so he can adjust his price. It's not blind when you tender. That's all the comment I want to make.
Thank you. Counselor Fong.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just one quick question for clarification. In this case, we saved money due to the cancellation of the previous contract that we had in place. I'm just wondering really quickly, and I think it's a very important question. If we were to then have to pay more to the next vendor, do we have something in place where we would penalize in terms of our contracts, canceling contracts like that once they've been tendered out? And if so, how often have we done that?
Yeah, absolutely. All of them will have we could end up in court is basically it. The cost, because there was no expenses, no one was out of pocket. It was cheaper for the city to cancel the contract where we were. If in the future that we went forward and a number of services were provided, we would then end up in a litigation situation. The council would have to do a cost benefit analysis on, is it worth proceeding with litigation to recover damages with those legal costs, or is it worth walking away? So that's why in this case, it was terminated at no cost on either side.
If I can follow up on it. So good news all around, the costs are less, but we haven't, I'm guessing we haven't taken into account the extra work that was involved in re-tendering this out, whatever processing there is. Maybe it's not a huge amount of money, but just throwing it out there. That's, in cases like this, I'm glad to hear that we have repercussions for the canceling bidder, but awarded bidder, but I would suggest even where the costs are sometimes less in this case, it'd be nice to know what the, perhaps that's a discussion for somewhere else, but it'd be nice to know what the actual costs incurred in terms of administration hours and stuff like that are, because I believe there's still a need to penalize someone for canceling here.
Thank you. Any other questions, Counselor? Okay, we'll call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Next, we're going to go to 7.3. A resolution to approve the amended page 20 of the 2021 City of Thompson fee and fine schedule, Planning Department. Resolution 2021-027, moved by Councillor Ellsworth, second by Deputy Mayor Wong. Whereas the November 30th, 2020 Council passed resolution 2020-217 approving the City of Thompson 2021 fee and fine schedule. And whereas the vacant and derelict building bylaw has been approved and established to maintain residential and commercial buildings within our communities. Now therefore be it resolved that council approve the amended page 20 of the City of Thompson 2021 fee and fine schedule as outlined below. Vacant and derelict building bylaw 2021. Residential boarded building permit, $2,000. Commercial boarded building permit base fee for the first year, $2,000. Residential commercial boarded building permit subsequent to the first year, base fee plus rate per additional year, example 3-year base plus 1,500 times 2 is equal to $5,000 with your original 2,000. That will be $1,500 per year. Vacant building inspection fee the first year, $260. Vacant building inspection fee renewal after the first year, orders not required, $500. Vacant building inspection fee renewal after first year, if an order is required, $1,000. Remediation coordination services per hour or part thereof, $90 per hour. Vacant and derelict building bylaw order issuance fee, residential, $1,000. Vacant and derelict building bylaw order issuance fee, non-residential, $1,000. We'll go to administration.
Sure. So council had passed their brand new vacant and derelict building bylaw last year, coming into this year. That left out the bylaw itself is based on the City of Brandon's bylaw, with changes made to reflect differences in Thompson. All the fees that you're seeing presented in front of you have gone through the Development Review Committee. They're identical to the charges that the City of Brandon uses. And that's the recommendation forward to council, is to adopt these into the fee and fine. And then the inspector can then start going out and doing vacant and derelict building inspections and levying the permits or the fines as needed.
Thank you. Go to Councillor Ellsworth as the mover.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Certainly it's good to see this fees and fine schedule coming forward. We've worked long and hard on this bylaw in the last few months, and some of the people that worked hard on that bylaw is no longer with us, but certainly we've acknowledged them, and now to see the fee and schedule fine, I know myself personally, I'm sure other councillors, along with the public, have talked about buildings that's been boarded up, lit, run down over the years. I would hope that we don't wait too long. It's good news for the city, probably not as good news to some of the people who own the buildings. But now we need to clean the city up and make it look good. And so I'm looking forward to seeing some changes to the buildings, and they're upgraded and not boarded up anymore, or else they are destroyed and demolished. And so we can actually have more buildings up there that looks good in Thompson. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillor? Councillor Tom.
I agree with Councilor Ellsworth. This is probably long due. That said, I'm concerned as a city that we have a number of our own buildings that we own that would probably warrant fines under this in some cases, at least certainly if it's not the infrastructure, it's not the buildings, it's essentially the infrastructure. Certainly I've heard complaints about people getting hurt on our properties that haven't been maintained. So if you're looking for an account to put this into, I'd gladly have a barbecue account for us all that you can pay into if you want. But actually, as just to finish off, can I ask, is the city subject to these bylaws?
Yes, the city is subject to the bylaws, and at the time of checking our buildings, we actually have 3 that will qualify under this resolution. Next, Kathy?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that also, that I asked that at the Development Review Committee, and it was 97 being the Gill place that we own, and we are selling that with real estate, 1241 Pike, which is a trailer to be demolished in Northwest Pool. So unless there's more, but that's what administration said, that's the only 3 properties the city of Thompson owns. And I believe there was some clarification at that time about the Northwest Pool building, but that's all that the city owns that is vacant.
I can confirm those are the only 3 buildings that would qualify. 2 of those buildings were inherited through the tax sale process. So it's not like they were city properties that were neglected. They were city properties that were inherited because the tax bill was not paid and the owner abandoned the properties. So those 2, the Norplex Pool, people have to remember, it's not just a fine in a demolished type situation. This bylaw does allow, if you comply with it, to keep your building could stay boarded as long as you're meeting the requirements, such as heating or maintenance of the building inside. So, or you can get an engineer's report saying that the building is safe as it is and provide that to the city. So the city can have the building inspected and then say, yes, this building does comply with the bylaw or not. And that's an option to anyone in the community through the bylaw.
Councillor Crew?
Kathy took the words out of my mouth.
Okay, thank you. Any other councillors? Well, for the question, all those in favor? Carried. 7.4 is a resolution to approve the capital plan in principle. Resolution 2021028, moved by Councillor Lundmark, seconded by Councillor Crew. Whereas the city of Thompson develops a general capital plan as part of their annual budget deliberation. And whereas administration of the city of Thompson has provided council with a general capital plan for 2021. And whereas council has discussed the 2021 general capital plan and agrees in principle to the plan. Now therefore be it resolved that council approve the 2021 general capital plan in principle and direct administration to prepare the necessary documents to implement the plan. Administration?
Yeah, this is a yearly housekeeping resolution that comes forward that allows administration to start preparing the tenders prior to the budget being finalized. So council's seen the capital plan principle, and then we would start preparing these tenders so that certain types of work you have to tender early, say it be roads or sewer lines, to get enough bids to come up here. Other ones can wait further into the year. But this allows the administration to start getting some of that work done. And then council obviously has oversight of how those tenders proceed.
Thank you. Councillor Lundmark is the mover.
Yeah, this is a project manager in the say, just want to make sure that our administration has this information, has the ability to proceed with preparing tender documents and requests for proposals or whatever they need to get them out as early as they can early in the financial year, when they still have opportunities and contractors out there that don't have work yet. So, and I'm looking forward to getting those items out and making sure that we proceed as efficiently as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councilors? Deputy Mayor Wong?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a clarification from the administration. So we approve the capital plan in principle, but we also make sure, not to say we also make sure, it's just like we have the provision budget approved, but we haven't approved the whole budget yet. So somehow, this is only still work with the $13 million that we what do you call that, the provision budget approved. It cannot be more than that, am I right? Just a clarification.
This only goes with the capital projects that you've approved in principle. So prior to, again, any of those dollars won't be spent until it comes back for council to really approve it again. This is just so we can start to move it forward. We can start to tender that, but then council still has to approve those.
No, I just want to make sure that that is, we're still within that budget that we pre-approved, so that way we don't come out with the project more than that, and now we have to find money, you know what I mean?
No, and again, that would still have council's oversight.
Councilor Fountain?
Just a clarification on there, or I'm asking for clarification. I assume that the public is not being shown what the capital plan is because we're still in budget. Is that correct?
Yeah, council's still in its budget deliberation, so council can still change some of the items that are in its general capital plan. This allows us to start doing the background work, to start getting those projects ready to go out for the public.
Well, and in terms of general rough ideas of numbers, we can't divulge that either.
Not at this time. That's a council decision in camera. Council should decide, and then you direct us what you want us to make public.
Like to call record vote on there, please.
Councilor Crew?
Oh, just if there's potential bids or RFPs going out, you can't know what the prices are or what our budget is, so it has to stay in camera.
Thank you. Councilor Lundmark? Okay. Any other councilors? Call for the question. All those in favor? Oh, pardon me. I was asked by Councilor Fountain for a recorded vote. So in a recorded vote, all those in favor? Councilor Valentino, Councilor Lundmark, Deputy Mayor Wong, Mayor Smook, Councilor Ellsworth, Councilor Colburn, Councilor Crew. Opposed? Councilor Fountain. Thank you. Carried. Okay, takes care of that. Next, we want to go to the mayor's report. This covers from February 2nd to 16th, 2021. I participated in the physician health conference call on February 4th. This is a conference call that's on a monthly basis on how to retain physicians in the north. And it's actually a very interesting committee, and we have definitely made some great strides in the 3 months. On February the 8th, along with City Manager Anthony McGinnis, we met with Valley Manager Franco Pizola. Along with City Manager Anthony McGinnis, we participated in the Zoom interview with Karen Dreger. She is from the PAW on February 9th, and the province and her had heard on our community safety and wellness strategy, and she was recommended by the province to give us a call. And it was a very good call that we get the North all working on the same page for community strategies. Mayor and council, along with administration, held the special levy public hearing on February the 11th. And along with City Manager Anthony McGinnis, I chaired the AMM City's caucus meeting via Zoom, and along with council members and administration, we attended the raising of the Louis Riel flag at City Hall on February the 12th. Pardon me. That was my first city's caucus chair, and I might add that all 9 mayors from all the cities. It was the first time in attendance in, they said, a couple years that everybody was on it. Plus, we had Jeff Brody from the city of Winnipeg, so there was 10 of us on there. So it was a great call, and we'll definitely be updating council on some of the things that we learned in there. We talked about recreation, taxes, a lot of things that are very pertinent to all of us. Various committee meetings were held, development review, legislative and finance, public works and infrastructure, recreation and community services. And today was a Manitoba mining mineral development meeting today that we had. And also we're on planning for where the dollars go across the mining community. So it's also very interesting. With that said, that's all I have. Is anybody else that did council business over the last 2 weeks? Okay, seeing none. Thank you. The weather is to be warming up outside, but especially by this weekend, it's going to be supposedly -5 and 6. So the roads will be slippery and icy. We're continuing our street cleaning, sanding and sidewalk clearing. So please be careful and see you in 2 weeks. I have a call for adjournment. Councilor Colburn, Councilor Crew, all in favor? Thank you.
The last 10 minutes, I can't stop looking at it. Duncan's sitting over here. The flag's on the opposite side of the room.
Wild.
I've never noticed that. Brian Lundmark's sitting over here.
Oh, the camera.
The camera. flipped the
That's
whole
weird,
room.
eh?
Oh, it's weird.
I've never noticed that
Stop
before
looking at
either.
It's like I'm not going crazy.
What's that? Okay.
That's-
I was looking at Duncan here, and then I looked